Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's about 9:30, January 1st, 2024. And, yep, you hear the siren going off again tonight. But we've got, I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, you should be able to hear that. So we got clearing skies after a couple of cloudy days. The last couple of days, 2024, were cloudy and a little bit above normal. But before I even talk about that, I want to talk about the year as a whole, 2023, because apparently the Weather Service doesn't have any yearly summaries on their website. At least I can't find it, and they haven't mentioned this, but I think this is a pretty big deal that we have the warmest year on record at Central Park. Now, Central Park is one of the oldest weather stations here, and I had to go to CBS News for this, but you'll see here right now, warmest year on record, 58, mean temperature for the whole year, 1869. That's a record that goes back to 1869. And you can see most of our top four warmest years, top three of them have been after 2000, which kind of shows you about the climate changing. But as far as December goes, it has been ranked as the second warmest December ever recorded. 2023 is now ranked the warmest year ever recorded in Central Park. So the year was also extremely wet, not surprisingly. 2023 ending as the 11th wettest year ever recorded. And so that thanks to CBS at least for putting this together. You think the Weather Service would, but, you know, the federal government, they want to downplay this. Joe Biden wants to downplay it. They all want to downplay just how serious this climate emergency is. As all the politicians, both sides, most of them are completely oblivious and clueless as to the kind of stuff that we're dealing with the climate. The other record that I want to talk about at Central Park is 2023 is going to be the least snowiest year in New York City recorded history with just 2.3 inches. All right. We've also had, I think, a long day, and I think that's just goes without saying. I mean, just very unusual to see. So we're going to go over all the climate statistics. We have record event reports, too, that I want to go over, too, here. On Friday, December 29th, a record daily high minimum temperature, warmest low temperature was set at Central Park. The low temperature was only 49 degrees on Thursday, December 28th. This breaks the old record minimum of high of 47 degrees, which was set in 2008. And the records for the Central Park, New York area go back to 1869. So you have a lot of records that are being broken this month. So, and this whole year in general has just been abnormal because of the Super El Nino and because of that Super El Nino being enhanced by the climate crisis that we have going on right now. So let's go to the monthly data. And like I said, we're going to go over this first before I do talk about the past couple of days we have going forward. So we'll first start off with islip here. That's the preliminary. So let's go to the daily. Let's see if there are any record reports. No, nothing for islip. Let's go to the monthly weather summary for islip. Well, actually, I have to go back. All right. Well, let's do this first of all. So this is the monthly weather summary for December here at islip. And we were well above normal for the month. And I'm wondering if that was one of the warmest December. I mean, they don't even publicize this. If I wanted to find out the information as to how this all ranks, they don't even publicize it, which is ridiculous. You think the Weather Service, of all organizations, would be talking about this. But no, because Joe Biden is a climate denier, all right? He's a climate denier just as much as Donald Trump. They both suck on climate. They're awful. Awful. I'm sorry I got to rant in this, but, you know, I'm fed up with the federal government and their denial of climate change. Nobody's taking this seriously. All right, let me get back to this, all right? So average maximum for December at islip is 49.1. The normal is supposed to be 44.4, so that puts us 4.7 degrees above normal for the high. The average maximum was 35. Average minimum was 35.4. It's supposed to be 29.8. That's 5.6 degrees above normal, and that gives us a mean for the month of December, 42.2. And the normal is supposed to be 37.1. That's 5.1 degrees above normal. That is unbelievable. Precipitation. We came very close to breaking the all-time precipitation record at islip for the month of December. We had 8.56 inches of rain. but that fell short of the 8.91 inches of precipitation in 1996. Normal is supposed to be 4.71, so we're almost twice, double the amount of rain that we're supposed to see. All right, and no snow, obviously. So let's go now and look at Central Park for their weather summary as well for December. Average maximum was 49.7. Normal is supposed to be 44.3. 5.4 degrees above normal for the high. Average minimum 39.5. It's supposed to be 33.8. That's 5.7 degrees above normal. And the mean of 44.6 puts us 5.5 degrees above normal at Central Park. So second warmest December on record at Central Park. Let's look at LaGuardia here. And we're trying to see if there were any records being broken. I don't see any records for precipitation or being broken here at LaGuardia. Let's look at JFK. Don't see any records being broken. It came close. Precipitation 7.63 at JFK came very close to the 2019 reading of 8.03 inches of rain. So, yeah, really just crazy with these anomalies. Let's look at Newark. Newark had an average maximum high of 50.7. Newark, New Jersey. Again, New Jersey, the fastest warming state. 44.8 in the lower 48. It's the fastest warming state. I think. Average maximum is supposed to be 44.8. That's 5.9 degrees above normal on the high. The low, the average minimum in Newark was 6.6 degrees above normal, and that gives us the mean of 44.3, which is 6.3 degrees above normal. That's incredible. That's just incredible to see. It really is. Let's see if there are any other records here that were broken here. All right. So Bridgeport set. Why don't they put an R here? Bridgeport had its wettest December on record. They had 8.35 inches of rain. The record is 7.87. So they broke that. They should be an R there. Why is the Weather Service not even denoting this? I mean, I don't understand what's going on with the Weather Service. They really should be talking about this more. I don't understand why they're not talking about it. So went over most of our climate sites here. I could go to Philadelphia. There are no annual. They don't even have an annual thing here, apparently. You'd think they would, but they don't seem to have an annual thing. So that's pretty pathetic that they barely spoke about this. Again, you look at this as their Facebook. Again, they only mentioned the snowfall, but they don't mention all these other records that have been broken here. They kind of take a look back at the year, but I don't see anything else here. Again, we go back on their Twitter. They don't even talk about it that much. They talk about the fires. They talk about talking about some of the things that happened in the past year. All right, here's another one. Here's a summary of the climate extremes. Let's see if they have anything on this. I'm looking to go back here, and so I'm going looking through their Twitter and see if they have anything on what we talked about. You notice there's a words. All right, so it says here 4 of our 6 climate sites broke records for daily maximum rainfall for 12/28. So that's going back to the 28th already. But yeah, nothing. It's interesting. There's no mention at all of climate change on this whole thing. They don't mention climate change. Is it bad to say climate change? Is it taboo to say climate change or climate crisis? I mean, I'm just fed up with the people in this country. They are so fucking clueless. I'm sorry for the language, but they are so clueless just to keep just living our wasteful lifestyles. I'm sorry, I'm getting off 2024 ranting. But, I mean, these are serious records that were broken, and nobody's talking about them. It's a pretty big damn deal. All right, so we got that out of the way. I mean, I could look at Philadelphia too, but let's see if Philadelphia had any records here that were broken. And you mentioned Philadelphia's not even talking about it either. All right, let's see. 2023 record broken, least snowish calendar year on record. So the new record, Philadelphia only got 0.3 inches of snowfall. It's just incredible, and I'm sure it might have been their warmest. A lot of the site, every records was smashed. All the records were smashed. So anyway, getting back to current weather now. Then you heard me talk about. Let's talk about the past couple of days because we had a lot of clouds around. So I'm gonna bring that up. We just had a lot of moisture around, and just cyclonic flow kind of kept clouds around. We'll just go back here and show you the clouds. That was yesterday, and this was Saturday. So you could see plenty of clouds around all the days. Hopefully, finally, I mean, we were hoping for a mostly sunny day on Sunday, and I had a feeling it wasn't going to happen. And I was right about that. So let's look at our current satellite. And it looks like there are some skies trying to clear out over our area right now. So let's go over the weather for the past couple of days. In fact, we will. I'm not even going to go over. You can see not a whole lot going on in the whole country. We're just gonna take a look at Islip and a few sites here. Just looking at the past couple of days. Right now it's 36 degrees at Islip. See, we have a north wind that should hopefully drop the temperatures. Today was pretty mild actually. We'll have to go over the highs for today as well. But yeah, we got well into the upper 40s probably. It's above normal, of course. You can see the cloud cover today at Islip. The cloud cover didn't really drop that much overnight. Here's we'll go into overnight from last overnight here. Let's see anything really. No, not a whole big range in temperatures because of all the cloud cover. We had generally mid to upper 40s during the day, 30s at night. No one's really dropping below freezing. And December 30th, man, very warm overnight there. So it's pretty much what it looks like at Islip. We'll go over the highs and lows for today. I know I didn't do it for yesterday and the day before, but I'm not going to because there's just too much to talk about between all the weather that we had this past year, all these records that was smashed. Let's see, highs, mid, upper 40s. Yeah, got close to 50 in Jersey today. And lows, yeah, all above freezing. Mid-30s, except West Hampton. For some reason, West Hampton still managed to get down to 25. We'll take a look at how the past couple days kind of turned out in West Hampton here. Yeah, in the morning, it looks like they did get, and they're getting, that's the current temperature, so they're getting some radiational cooling tonight. I don't think they had any overnight. No, they did not. So that's the current temperature that they went down to. They did get radiation. They did actually drop below freezing last night as well, but not the night before. So anyway, let's go and look at what we got coming our way, because at least there's some hope, at least, that we're finally going to get colder weather, because this weather has just been absolutely ridiculous. And yes, there is a record that we haven't had snow at Central Park as well for snowfall over a certain. We've broken that already by it. It's still a record that's still. When we have the snowfall, that's when we'll talk about it. And whether it's the next thing we're going to talk about, obviously, there's a chance that we might actually see some snow. So this is our weather map here. You see, got a little weak system that's kind of passing off the south, a little trough that's extending back, and then we've got a high pressure over the whole, pretty much fair weather over the whole country right now. Though we're still dealing with temperatures. There's no really, really cold air around at all whatsoever. So looking at the radar, you can see there's some rain off to over the mid-Atlantic. Other than that, otherwise, nothing really going on too much across the country. So let's look at the models now. So this is what we're going to look at, and we're going to show you the surface first. All right, this is the GFS, the 18Z run. All right, so you see there's that high that's going to build in, bring us, hopefully we finally have some sunshine tomorrow. See that low is going to bomb out as it gets offshore, but it's way offshore. It's just going to keep a north flow in, but there's no real cold air. It's just going to be seasonal air behind that. And then there's another system that does the same thing, kind of, stays. This is a southern stream shortwaves here, kind of does the same thing and stays offshore. See, we have a bigger high built in later Thursday into Friday. That's going to bring in somewhat colder air, and then that sets the stage for this next storm here that would come. It's a southern stream, but it's going to phase, and this is taking a track that could perhaps give us snow. Now, the tracks it's too early to tell right now where this storm is going to track, how much cold air there's going to be, how much snow we're going to get. I'm just going to say that there's a possibility we could see our first snowfall in quite some time, perhaps Sunday. But that's still a ways away. All right, that's still a ways away, and there's still a lot of variabilities on this. All right, but that's an encouraging sign. But then right after that, we get we get a really intense LLJ. Right after that, if we do get the snowfall, it's going to be wiped out because we're going to have a very strong LLJ type of system that's going to move through. Tuesday, and that's going to bring in a more heavy rain again over us, and then that's going to start bringing in some colder air. But you can see the lows are still tracking over this, but you definitely see what looks like cold air moving in, and a lot of it as we get toward the middle of the month, and that's because of the split in the polar vortex, or the stratospheric warming going on, and we're going to talk about that as well. But I want to just talk about this snowstorm first. We're going to have, so finally, for those of us who've been waiting for winter, it looks like we're finally going to see something. We've been waiting so long. I will show you the European as well as far as that track goes. There's the storm again. European takes it a little close to us. That might wind up being rain for us. And then the next system you see right after that, going to be more rain. So either way, we're going to get socked with a lot of precipitation. If we look at the total accumulated precipitation, we can see another 2 to 3 inches of liquid. GFS, again, another 2 to 3 inches of liquid. And some of these areas could get even more. This is showing 5 or 6 inches of liquid. Again, still in this really wet pattern with all these precipitation that we're getting. But we have a chance that some of it might be in the form of snow. So now that I went over the surface, I know it's kind of backwards, but now we're going to go over the jet stream for you. We are with the GFS here, and actually, I want to go to the northern hemisphere first. All right, let's look at the stratosphere, the polar vortex here, because you can see that there's going to be a split here. You see it's starting to split already. You see two halves here, all right? So I'm going to move this along here. I have to do it this way. You can see, look at it splitting. Look at it's completely breaking down. Look at that. That is going to bring in some cold air. The cold air has been stuck up there for a very long time, and I think we finally might. This is very encouraging that as we get toward the middle and latter parts of January, we are going to see some bitter cold, which is what we need. We haven't had it in a couple of years now, and we need that. And, just because we're in a climate crisis doesn't mean we can't get bitter cold. You'll have these dumb assholes when we do get the bitter cold weather, there's no climate change, it's bitterly cold, because they're just dumb. Because there's a lot of dumb people in this country that just don't get how the world works. All right? So this is looking good. This is looking good right now. You see that polar vortex just breaking down completely, which is what we need. All right, that's going to let the cold air come sliding down to the United States. All right, and this is a pattern change that people have been talking about for a while, but now we're getting closer, and the models are still showing it. So that's what's important about it. All right, so let's get to the jet stream now. We'll go to the North American view here. Go back to the jet stream. All right, so you see we got this split flow right now. But watch what happens as we get toward next week after those couple of storms there. Look at what winds up happening. Big trough in the much of the United States. Look at that. The jet stream almost completely what is going on here? But you could see that's going to bring in some really cold air. All right, that's going to bring in some really cold air when we have that kind of setup. And that's exactly what we need. We'll go to the heights now and take a look at this. So here you go. Take a look at what's going to happen now, all right? So you have all this cold air that's just been trapped up there, all right? So you can see here are the troughs again. See, there's your storm system and here's the bigger storm system that's going to cut in the lakes. But it's these stronger storms that are going to bring us all that rain, that surge, that warm surge. Look at what happens in Greenland. That's some really strong blocking in Greenland right there. Really strong. That's incredible. So that is what's going to bring in the cold air. Let's go to the European now. We'll look at the European here. And this doesn't go as far out, obviously. But you see here, again, there's the European. And you can see, there's the European. You can see there's that Greenland blocking there. See it? So the signature is there. We're finally going to have some winter weather after a long. We're going to have some winter weather. I'm very happy about this. So, and if you don't like it, well, shut up and go live in Florida. This is supposed to get cold here, and we're supposed to see an outbreak of bitter cold. So this is how it happens. So looking at your temperature anomaly chart, we're still staying above normal for now, but then as we get toward later, you can see we're starting to cool down, and then here comes the purples, and look at this. Here we go behind that system. Here it comes, folks. It's going to go. It looks like it's going to go into the middle of the country first, then it's going to go over to us, and yeah, much of the country east of the Rockies looks like it is going to be bitterly cold here. This looks like a really nice plunge here. Of course, this is the 18Z run. Let's see, 12Z run still shows it though. Just the timing's a little different, but it's coming. It's coming. You can clearly see it there, and that is some nice bitterly cold air. Look at that. That's huge anomalies here. If we look at the actual temperatures here, going to have probably below zero. This is going to be some bitterly cold. It's going to even make it into Oklahoma here, below zero, well below zero in the Dakotas. And this is the kind of cold that's going to be coming toward us. And we're definitely, when that air mass gets here, we'll definitely have those kind of days where it doesn't get above freezing. This is good that we got the cold. Canada is now filling with the really bitterly cold Arctic air. This is going to be Arctic air. We haven't seen Arctic air in quite a while here. But yeah, it was all bent up. It's been all trapped over Siberia, but it's all going to come down. All right. Go to the European here. Look at the temperature anomalies as well. So here are your 10. Look at that. The European shows it too. There's your plunge right there. Getting ready. This is only Thursday here, but you can see the plunge is getting ready. Come on down. Yep, there it is. So, I'm very happy about this. So, we needed this. We need this badly. We need it. We need at least like a good stretch of days where we don't get above freezing, because you have those stretches of days, those kill those damn southern pine beetles. So you don't have to, you're knocked out basically from that. So I get a look at what we have coming our way here. Let's go to the CPC, because I'll just go into that already. We'll do Climate Prediction Center, and I might as well show you what we have coming, because you can see, all right, it has the southwest below normal in the beginning, but look what happens. Still is above normal. I don't know if I agree with that. Has got the cold, really cold air going to the west. I don't know. The models don't seem to show that, but you'll see way above normal here. Way above normal. But cold air is coming, so I think we'll get to see part of it. Of course, man, I'd rather be in Flagstaff. Look at that. I'm going to probably be bitterly cold there. And maybe a little snow on the ground too. But anyway, let's get back to the models here. I still see that cold, but the heart of the cold air, it's weird that they have it southwest, because the Euro and the G, I don't know why they're doing that. I think it's going to be more east of the Rockies. I'm hoping it is anyway. So let's go back and look at the storm. Let's look at our short-term weather here. I'm not going to get too much into the storm. All right, I know a lot of people would like me to talk more about it, but it's so far away, it's really going to be hard to say what's going to happen at this point. So let's look at the HRR in the short range here, all right? So you can see the wind shift to the north. That's going to keep that drier air in place, and hopefully we get some more sunshine with high pressure tomorrow. Light winds tomorrow. It shouldn't be too breezy. Then Wednesday, you can see we stay in the northwest flow. That's a good setup here. Temperatures dew points stay fairly low. So here we go. Let's look at the temperatures here. And you'll see tonight will actually probably make it below freezing, probably. Well, if the pine barrens can get radiational cooling, it'll probably be even lower there. Generally upper 20s for most of us. And then tomorrow will be cooler than today. Highs only around 40 degrees. It looks like, I think it will be a little cooler than today. Tomorrow night we drop back into the 20s. And then Wednesday, we maybe warm it up a little bit into the low 40s. But you can see there, look to the north, that's some colder air coming in that we're going to be dealing with on later Thursday into Friday. So let's go to the GFS now. And we'll look again at our dew points and wind flow, so you can get to watch this colder air come in. This is the GFS. Notice the GFS is much lower with the dew point, too, by the way. So we see this, the GFS is stronger with the cold air coming in for tomorrow. The dew point that low, we should have a nice sky. And the dew points come up a little bit with a little more clouds on Wednesday. Yeah, get ready here. Here it comes for Friday. It's going to be glancing blow, mainly over New England, it looks like. But you can see some really low dew points here. That's some cold air right there that we're going to have, that we're going to get into. And then you can see there's more cold air building in Canada. That's what we need. Here's our storm again. So this is the storm, and I'll show it to you again. We're not going to show that dew point. It's a little borderline for the coast, but I think inland, if you're north and west, you have the best chance of seeing snow from that. And then you can see behind it, you get a little bit of cold air, and then here comes the surge of warm ahead of that LLJ system. Then you can see as that, and the second one comes through, and then after the second one comes through, the bottom drops out, and then we really start getting into some really cold air here. Look at that. Wow. So that's going to be impressive. Again, these are dew points. So let's look at the actual air temperatures, shall we? So as we go into, let's see what the GFS has for tomorrow. All right, it's close to the HRRR. So here we go into Thursday. So Thursday, we're going to, that'll probably be the last day you're going to see 40. And then we go into the 20s Thursday to Friday. Only mid-30s for highs on Friday. That's very nice. And still mid to upper 30s on Saturday. And then here's that storm system again. So it's going to be real borderline. We can't really predict what's going to happen with it. All right? We can't. All right? It's too early, and I'm not going to really, go into it too much. We'll show it to you a little bit on here, but you'll see here, and then Monday below freezing, and then you can see that surge of warmth at the LLJ. There'll be two of them, and then behind it, that's when we get into that cold air coming in. So that second batch, look at that. Look at that. You're not making it out of the single digits if you're in Ohio, and that's going to get into us. Look at that, 20s, the 16th. This is going to be great. Finally, this is what we need. Even if you don't like it, this is what we need, all right? It's not about what you like. It's what we should have in the winter. It's supposed to be cold. You're supposed to have snow. That's the way winter's supposed to be. Not supposed to be like this, all right? So now let's go to the surface, and we'll look at that storm. So here we are, and again, you see the storm staying to the south, so not much precipitation this week, but then here we go. Here it is. So here it comes in. You can see track kind of has us a mix and then maybe ending as snow. I'm not even going to show you the accumulations. I'll show you because it's really hard to say what's going to happen here at this point. The temperatures, remember the ocean is so warm too. That low is so close. You want it at the 40-70 benchmark. It looks like it's close to it, but the cold air is marginal. So we have to see if we can do that or not. It's close to it. We want it a little bit past that benchmark, and then it goes. So showing you the amount of precipitation that we would get here, total accumulated precip here. You can see lighter to the north and west, heavier to the south. That would work out to, let's say, it's about an inch of liquid equivalent, but I think that a lot of it would be mixed, but, we'll just run this just for fun. It's showing... we could see 5 inches of snow, a little more inland. Again, so this is gonna be a ways away. So, like I said, things can change, and I don't want to really be harping on this too much because, again, things can change. But obviously, all the people who want a snowstorm are all excited. I mean, I'm more excited about the cold air, but the snowstorm would be okay too. So here you go, and the Euro's a little closer to us, and you can see there's that 540 lines of the Euro. And again, there's going to be some strong winds with this storm. You can see how close the isobars are here. Very close to each other. All right? So that's something we'll have to, again, consider the wind also with this storm as well. But I guess we are far away from it. So I'll talk more about this as we get later on into this week, I think. So let's... now talk about the skies, all right? So we'll first do the HRRR. Actually, let's do the HRRR because we'll have more soundings to show you tomorrow, I think. Or we'll do 15Z. Let's see what it looks like here. Hopefully we can have a clear sky tomorrow. It looks pretty decent. That's a decent-looking sounding right there. So for Wednesday, we'll probably have some more clouds around Thursday. Probably... clouds, but then it'll eventually start clearing. Right now it's still showing cloud deck, but as we get toward Friday, now we only have 18Z on here, or it's either 12Z or 18Z. We get toward Friday, it is showing possible upper level moisture, perhaps clear in the morning probably, but it may be exaggerating this. It's really hard to tell this far out what's going to happen for the skies on Friday, but we'll go down and look at the sky output here. So you can see there is some cirrus there that might try to come in on us on Friday. But for tomorrow, I think we should have a mostly sunny day. So you see that. And we'll have to watch for that cirrus on Friday to see what happens with that. Obviously, that's a little too far away for us to tell right now. RGEM, let's look at the RGEM 18Z run. So here's the ACT clouds clear out. We're mostly sunny tomorrow. And then maybe a little bit of cirrus around Wednesday, but then it looks like it breaks it up. We have more mostly sunny skies by the afternoon. And then we have some clouds in the morning Thursday, but then by the afternoon, see a little more sun. And then for Friday, well, that's as far as we got. So there you go. Right now, that storm, it's too far out to tell, but I'm just saying, yes, there's a chance that some of us are going to see some snowfall from this. But even if we do get it, unfortunately, those rainstorms are going to wash it away. So we'll have to see. But then after behind those rainstorms, could get some bit of cold and maybe some more chances for snow, hopefully. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update, Long Island weather outlook, and of course the weather summary for 2023. I wish I had more data on 2023, but they don't really want to talk too much about it. But I'm glad CBS did and put this together, so we can actually. I'm going to put this in the link below because they actually really had some nice graphics. I don't know why the Weather Service couldn't do this, but there you go. Warmest year on record at Central Park, and that record goes back to 1869, and a lot of sites have done this. One of the warmest Decembers on record, and one of the wettest as well. Wettest years, 11th wettest year on record as well. And we've had a lot of, even some of the sites also broke all-time precipitation records. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. Happy New Year. And let's hope that 2024 at least brings us a little more nice weather. But I think as the climate crisis worsens, we know it's only going to get worse. But when we get that cold weather, when we get that winter weather, enjoy it because it's such a fleeting moment now as we deal with this climate crisis. It's going to be warmer and wetter and cloudier and crappier. So when you have that nice, cold, crisp air from the North Pole, you better enjoy it while it's around. Anyway, have a good night.